Hello and welcome to the Liverpool Way podcast after a 3-2 loss at Old Trafford. The Reds fell a couple of goals behind early on but took advantage of some United sloppiness to get back to 2-2 before conceding again to suffer defeat for the 18th time this season. I'm Dave Usher, editor at liverpoolway.co.uk, and I'm joined for this one by Julian Richards. Okay, Jules, as expected, a little bit surprising. What are your thoughts on that?
That was as expected.
So, were you expecting us to lose, or do you mean the way the game went? You were expecting?
I was expecting us to lose because we're just not a good football team.
Yeah,
And, everything in context, because the league table says we're fifth, so we're fifth. You can't deny that we're fifth. I'm not going to. But we're not a good football team.
are we not
We're not a good
fourth?
I don't care. Um, we're in the top five. But we're not a good football team to watch. We're not a good football team when we attack. We're not a good football team when we defend. Every metric that they should be, at least one part of the team should be excelling, nothing excels at. Now, Manchester United are not a good football team either, and that was shown today.
Yeah,
But also the team, this current team has no spine at all. Like there's no grit or determination to grind out results, and I don't mean in the sort of the anti unbeaten run we had over Christmas where we were not being beaten, but it was so
yeah,
it was so lifeless as not to be worth the name. But there's just no like actual grit, like anger in the team to get something, push it over the line, that kind of stuff. There's none of that. And so, yeah, I expected us to concede within 15 minutes to a shit goal, which happened. I expected us to have no answer to that, which happened. I didn't see Manchester United's own shitness helping us out so much that we were able to get back into it in the
yeah.
second half. And I you gotta separate the two things here. Like Szoboszlai took his goal really well. It's a great finish. Drove
It's got
forward.
really good execution on the second goal as well. In fairness,
Yeah,
but they are present.
yeah.
Mm,
Like so, if you look at the first one, that's a great in isolation. That's a great driving run. Driving run through midfield interception, and then a lovely finish. But again, if you're the defensive team, you've got lots of questions to ask there. How's he got that far? How has no one tackled him? Why has no one got back?
plus, they
All that
passed
kind
them
of
the
stuff.
ball.
Exactly. On the second goal, I mean that's just a disaster from them. And again, it's very calm performance from all three players involved to get it down, calm it, Szoboszlai to lay into Gakpo and Gakpo
Yeah,
to finish. But those aren't cleverly engineered goals by us.
hmm
None of that. Um, and then it didn't surprise me. If I always felt because I have no trust in the team and I don't feel like they've got any grit or determination that I always felt like if there's going to be a winner, it will probably be them, not us.
yeah,
And it will probably be not a very well. It'll be a goal which has lots of. When you put this up on the tactics board, there's going to be a lot of arrows being drawn and a lot of X's about what's gone wrong. Now, I assumed it would be a goal sort of like Fulham, where we just back off and someone scores a worldie, but instead it was McAllister just whiffing a foot at a ball, half-heartedly clearing it, falling to someone on the edge of the area, decent strike, and it's in the net. And I never felt we were coming back from that. That was it then. That was game over.
mm,
Because there's no grit or determination in the team. The team, let's put all the cards on the table. If people aren't already aware, let's put the cards on the table. This team is a reflection of the manager. It is a reflection. The squad you can say is a reflection of the people who built it, but how the team goes out there and plays a football match is a complete reflection of the manager.
hmm
And they are inept in every aspect. As I said, they're not good going forward. They're not good defending. We don't dominate midfield. So we're inept. We're spineless. We're weak. We lack any. I mean, this is not a reflection of Slot. I mean, I don't think he's a fast runner, but we lack any real pace.
he,
It's
he
like
was a
the.
slow player. He'll tell you that himself.
Well, there you go. So we are. We still a reflection. Everything is a reflection of him at this point. It can be nothing else. Um, and it's just at this point, this season has been a complete failure. There have been worse seasons, in the last 20 years, there have been much worse seasons. But when you take where the team was, which was champions, and then the money invested, because there have been teams that have been okay and had no money relative to other teams in the league, especially from the time Abramovich bought Chelsea. You just couldn't compete. It wasn't feasible. So that was always a mitigating circumstance. That isn't really that now. So from where you are from champions, for the money you've spent, to drop off, to scrap in with a poor Manchester United team, which have got better, but then they couldn't have got much worse because they were like knocking around in the relegation area or thereabouts earlier in the season. And a Villa team which I think is outperforming all its metrics, and it's like you'll find next season that they'll once they get Champions League football again, they'll end up slipping back down again because they can't compete. They've overextended their budget. It's just not possible for them to do so. And we've gone from champions and spending all this money to compete and being well off any sort of title race to competing with these bums. And we're meant to what? Be happy about this? Be impressed with this? Call it a blip? It's not a blip. It's been going on there's nothing changes. It's Groundhog Day. Except in Groundhog Day, I think it's mostly acknowledged now that in Groundhog Day, he's in that time loop for hundreds of years. It's not like we only see parts of it in the film, but like he's in it for hundreds of years because he learns to play the piano, he learns to ice sculpt, he learns to speak French, all this stuff. He's in there for ages. So at least we haven't got hundreds of years of Arne Slot football. But it feels like we have got hundreds of years of Arne Slot football because when you watch it, it's awful. It's slow.
we don't know what the plans are.
It's slow, tedious football. No one can be happy with this performance. And if you'd have to buy like the Roadrunner, like someone so quick to make multiple fast players to even make this sort of thing work. And even then, they can be fast, but if the ball gets them slowly and they're instructed to touch it off back into midfield, it's irrelevant how fast they are. This style is rubbish. It's not working. It's no good. And today it doesn't really change anything. Like losing to Manchester United used to really sting. I can't even say I wasn't nervous before the game. I didn't really care before the game. No. And I didn't sting when we lost. The only reason when we were mounting a comeback and we might win, I thought Schadenfreude is the only thing I'm going to get from this, which is like just wiping the smirk off their faces. Mm-hmm. Like, you think you're on the up, but we're shit and we've still gone there and beaten you. But we didn't. We've lost them twice in the league, which hasn't happened for about 10 years now. It's like,
what's the common denominator there?
I mean,
just can't think. I can't imagine what's changed there.
Everything is just. I mean, the team. When you saw what the team was today, he's gonna, he's bemoaning injuries. It's like, right, yeah. Now there are injuries, I suppose. But it still doesn't speak volumes. But that the squad is so ineptly constructed. The bench is like, I don't know. Some of these players are on the bench. Who's that guy? What's going on here? None of these. They're on there to fill a gap, not to come on in the game. They're not coming on in the game. So the bench consists of 3 players that are usable, give or take. Mm. How many subs do we make? We brought Kirkes on. We brought Chiesa on. We brought Rio on. Was that it?
Yeah, I mean, can we even count Chiesa when he's just the last throw of the dice? You're saying about usable. Is he even used? Well, I think he is, but that's not the point.
I don't think
Slot
he is anymore.
I think he is.
I don't think he is anymore. I think
we may have reached that point. I don't know. But the only other one would have been Joe Gomez. But you're not bringing Joe Gomez on to win you the game, are you?
No. So again, this season has been one of the all-time fall-offs. I think probably Leicester, when they won the league, had a worse defence than this because they're Leicester, who are now playing in League One, right? Leicester. So we've had a good as the title defence as Leicester, and that's fine.
And Leicester weren't equipped to go into the Champions League and play twice a week. That's the reason why they won the leagues, because they're not playing twice a week, which is also...
And they didn't spend 40 million after winning it.
But yeah, there's that. But today, and this, I'm not making an excuse here, but United have played the bare minimum that they could possibly play this year.
Yeah.
No Europe, knocked out of both cups at the first attempt. So they've not got the injuries. They're obviously fresher than us, and they still only just beat us. They're shit. We're shit too. But let's not like look at United and go, oh yeah, you know they're on the upper. No, they're still shit. It's just that the league's just the top end of the league is just so like, you know, everyone's getting beat by everyone else, and some people are using that like as a defence of us. I'm like, I don't care that everyone else is shit. We shouldn't be. We won the league. We spent all this money. We should not be shit. And my biggest issue with all of this is the way they've just been briefing this little narrative. It's been put out there about it's a rebuild season, it's a transition. You weren't fucking saying that last summer.
No.
That was not the plan. You've just fucking pivoted on it because things have gone shit and it's damage limitation. Well, let's just say we're in a transition and things are going to get better, but we have to take a step back.
You can't be in transition when you spend 400 million quid.
It's absolute bullshit. It's fucking
400 million
nonsense.
is fuck you money. It's not transition money.
It was, we won the league and now we're going to start swinging our dicks. Look at us. Yeah, and now it's like, well, you know, we lost all of these players and we had to shake things up. And no, just fuck off with that. We're not having it.
That's building a dynasty money. That's not like, oh, we're in transition. Like the only thing they can ever give for mitigating circumstances this season is the obvious tragedy of Jota in the summer. Then nothing else is mitigating circumstances. Nothing. It's a complete fuck up. You said it. You're right. You were proven right. To sell Diaz's goal.
Oh my god! I know.
I saw it. I didn't watch the game. I saw the highlights on Match of the Day that night. I had to rewind them. I was like, did I just see that? I'm like, what the fuck are we? Why did we sell him? What's going on here?
Oh,
this is, and not to replace him. It's so arrogant to do that.
Yeah.
So arrogant.
It really is.
And everybody at the club should be embarrassed of themselves, of their effort this season. Everybody. And I feel bad for everybody who goes to these away games and has to watch this shite. I feel bad for everyone who's at the home games watching this shite. It's not acceptable. And it's not I'm not going to be one of those people who goes, well, Liverpool. I don't care about that. I care about the raw facts of this team is champions. This team has got a storied history. This team spent £400 million. It could be Liverpool. It could be Manchester United. It could be Arsenal. It doesn't matter. If this was anybody else having this kind of season, we'd laugh at them. What a fuck up, you useless twats. What have you done? This is awful. Why would we feel any different because it's our team? We should feel even worse that it's our team that's doing this.
Yeah, it's just frustrating seeing the excuses that some people are making for it, and this notion that, well, you know, he's trying to get the team to play his way, but some players can't do it. He needs more play. Like, what? No, fucking hell. He needs more time and new players. What? Like who? We could sign. We won't, because he'd absolutely be fucking insane to come here. But we could sign Michael Olise. And if he signed for us this summer, you're going to get Dwight McNeil level performances out of him if Slot's in charge. And you only have to look at Florian Wirtz to see that. Like, what we expected from Florian Wirtz and what we've actually got. And, you know, we're getting 2000 terrible, but look, we're getting
2003-4 Vladimir Smicer out of him.
Yeah, I made that comparison fairly recently about like he's being more like Smicer when, you know, at least be Coutinho. Even that would have been like,
well, like,
a little bit disappointing, but at least
2003-4 Smicer, not 04-05 when he was actually like making some contributions. And you're going, oh, Vladdy, what a guy. No, the shit Smicer. Yeah. You're not even the good Smicer. And like, we all love Vladdy, but obviously there was a level to him, and you expect Wirtz to be massively above that level. Yeah, exactly. At this moment, he's not covering himself in glory because he looks like he lacks grit and determination. He looks like he wants no part of what's going on here.
The only thing I will say about him is he never stops running. He puts a massive shift in every game. He's always running. So I'll give him that. He's not down to it.
Do you feel like he's showing responsibility with the ball?
No, I don't. I think there's some of it is to do with, you know, I mean, even my dad's moaning about Wirtz a lot, but even my dad was saying today, he got the ball and he's bringing it forward and there was just no option for him to pass to. And my dad's like, he's been brought in to play passes. Who's he playing passes to? Nobody can run. There's no pace ahead of him or anything. So then he's ended up like having to slow it down, and then he'll go sideways, or like he might try a trick and lose the ball. So it's not all on him, you know. It's not an easy situation for him, I would say. But still, it's like, come on, I've broken records. We keep saying
Yeah.
we need more from him, and we do need more from him. But I would go, I'm not giving him a pass as such, but what I'm saying is, like, if you think that new players are the answer to this with the same coach, no, it does not matter who you're bringing in. It really doesn't, because he's shown he's capable of making, like, really good players just look average or even below average. So why would that be different if you give him, like, more money? I'm saying give him more money. He's not even picking the players. That's another issue. But still, you can't just go, okay, well, if we get him, like, 2 new wingers and a new midfielder who can run about, because, you know, all this, like, we're all on McAllister for how McAllister's been playing and that, but fucking hell, even that, like, McAllister's a fucking great player who's looking like dog shit.
Yeah.
Now, is that McAllister's fault, or is that the way the team's set up, or the way players are being managed, and, you know, no one's inspiring them, like they're demoralised, or there's so much that goes into it, and, you know, we could be here all day, and we've not even really spoke about the game much at this point. But just one thing I wanted to bring up before, like, I forget about it. In the build-up to this game, like, I stopped watching the inside training videos a long time ago, because I just got fed up of just seeing, like, the only thing that was happening was high-fiving each other at Moe's coffee bar, and then a few gentle little shooting drills, which the shooting drills, like, in the first half today, there was a few opportunities where someone can have a shot from the edge of the box, and they're not, and they'll pass it on. I'm like, no, you've got to fucking hit that, because how many opportunities do you think you're going to be getting in this game? The first half especially, because we actually played some decent stuff, I thought, through like, you know, playing from back to front, getting through the lines, finding people in space. We actually did that pretty well, and then it gets into the final third and just nothing happens. But there's times, like, Gakpo had a shot and it was unlucky. It was a really good shot. He then has another opportunity to do that, and he plays it out wide. I'm like, no, fucking hit it. Gravenberch, I mean, what's it going to take to make him actually take a shot when it opens up from on the edge of the box? And that was frustrating me. But when you watch the shooting drills in training, it's so slow and lackadaisical. It's like they'll take 3 touches and they're in their own time, and then they'll hit a shot. I'm like, no, you've got to be doing that at pace. You're supposed to train the way you play. Everything needs to be done at pace, because you're not getting that kind of time in games to be picking your spot in the corner and all of that stuff. So, like, the training videos just turned me right off. I stopped watching it because it was just annoying me. And then I seen a clip. Well, now, without seeing the full context, if I haven't watched the whole video, I may have missed something. But there's a clip with Isak, like, at the weights machine, and Frimpong's, like, looks like he's saying to him, like, you know, fucking move, it's my turn or whatever. And you hear Frimpong talking about, like, something about respect. And Isak looks at it, and Isak looks genuinely fucking pissed off. And Isak says something like, how old are you? And then Mac is in there, like, just laughing and just trying to calm it all down and stuff like that. And I'm looking at it and going, first of all, why are the club even putting that out there? Now, maybe there's more context. Maybe the video carries on and Frimpong and Isak.
But we didn't see the context, so why put it out like that, right?
But I don't know, maybe they've put it out and it's on the full video. I don't know, but nobody's put that part out. And in the comments, when I was reading through, nobody said, actually play the full clip and it's all fine. Yeah, I'm like, what? Why is that even we shouldn't see that. I'm sure that goes on all the time at every club. No question about that. But why are we seeing that? And, like, it doesn't look good as well. When we've had this season that we've had, and you feel like, you know, the leadership, where the leaders are all leaving, the culture at the club just doesn't look good. And then you're seeing that, and you're like, what the fuck's going on? And then Isak doesn't play today.
Yeah.
Like, supposedly another growing issue. There's just a lot of stuff going on that you just think, this is not right. It does not smell right at all. But, like, going back to the game, so the first half, you said you expected us to concede inside the first 15 minutes. I can't say I expected that. I wasn't surprised by it. I did not know what to expect at all today, because they're shit. We're shit. Anything can happen, you know, and that's actually how it's turned out. It's like, first half, we were shit. They got 2-0 up. Second half, they were shit. It ends up 2-2. And at that point, that's the really frustrating thing for me, was we got to 2-2 and we started to look pretty good. We had the momentum. we looked like we forced a few set pieces because we didn't force any set pieces in the first half. So we had like a couple of corners, free kicks around the box. We were the ones knocking on the door. And it's like, you've got to go on and win the game at that point. You've gone back from, you're 2-0 down. They've just gifted you 2 goals, which we'll talk about the goals, but they're really well executed from our point of view. I'm not saying they're lucky goals or anything. They're not. But it's not because we've put them under loads of pressure and played great football and just, battered the door down. They've just give us 2 presents. It's got back to 2-2. And now at this point, we are actually playing some decent stuff. And we're on the front foot. And they're shitting themselves. The crowd's edgy. And then you lose 3-2. And I think that sums up this team. It sums up the season and like this team now. This is who they are.
Do you know why I expect us to concede early? Because it's just a thing that I feel like this team does. But also, who have we beaten away this season in the top half? Like, Terry's just put a graphic on. We drew with Arsenal 0-0. Man City we lost. Yeah, Man City we lost 3-0. Brentford we lost 3-2. Brighton we lost 2-1. Bournemouth we lost 3-2. Chelsea we lost 2-1. Fulham we drew 2-2. Right? So why would I expect anything else than to concede early with a spineless team? And they are spineless.
You know what? That's the worrying thing. In the first half, like, you look at the team that we put out, and I look at the front three, and I don't even know if it was a front three because we played a sort of weird. It was like we played 2 different formations, one with the ball and one without the ball. But if you're looking at it as a front three, Frimpong, Gakpo, and Wirtz. Now, I'm looking at that, and this is probably harsh, but it just took me back to fucking Barini, Balotelli, and Lambert. Now,
it's no cutting edge, is it? It doesn't give you any confidence.
It's not that individual. I mean, Wirtz is obviously like a really talented player. Gakpo was. He's not anymore.
You mean the cutting edge more than
the fucking fullback? I don't care.
More than the components, don't you?
Yeah, that front three, to me, I'm like, well, that's going to be about as effective as Balotelli, Lambert and Barini. Not that they're the same level of player, but that's what I'm looking at and thinking, that front three, what are we going to do with that front three? How are we going to do anything today? And that's kind of how the first half went, because we as I say, we moved the ball through the lines quite well. Players were finding space. McAllister and Wirtz were getting in pockets, picking it up, and so we did some stuff quite well, but there's no cutting edge whatsoever, which you kind of go, okay, well, I expect that because of who the front three is. But United looked like they were going to score every time they went forward.
Wide open we were.
But, yeah, how are we...
Vast swathes of land.
The defence... Okay, so you've got Curtis not playing in like his favoured position. So Curtis is like makeshift, if you like. I actually thought he was our best player today, again, but still. So, but you've still got your 2 first choice centre halves, and you've got Robbo at left back. Now, yeah, you haven't got your goalkeeper. Maybe the result's different if Alisson plays. Not that Freddie Woodman's responsible for anything that's happened. I'm not saying that. But the best goalkeeper in the world might save one of the goals. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? But like, we should not have looked as wide open and vulnerable at the back. And we did. Now, we didn't really look that bad in the second half, but the first half, especially like the way the game started, and it's like, what's going on? Why are we so bad at the back? And whether it's the defenders or if it's the shape of the team or, they're not compact enough. I don't know. I think it's everything. Yeah, you look at that and go, this should not be happening. The United are not that good that they should be just slicing through us like that. So the first half, for me, although we were poor going forward, I can make allowances for that given the personnel we had in the forward line. I can't justify how bad we were at the back. And we're 2-0 down, and you can talk about the second goal, and let's just go through the goals first. Then I know you watched them just before we came on because you'd forgotten.
I not forgotten. I just blanked them immediately. Well,
I haven't watched them back, but I sort of remember what happened from first time. But go on, talk us through the first goal then.
That was the deflection off of Maka from the edge of the area. Again, it's just like a failure to clear lines properly. It's lack of composure. Like the comment, just no one cares about this, but Sky really need to stop having Neville and Carragher commentating on United and Liverpool games. When they're both together, they shouldn't commentate on those games, and when they're separate, Neville shouldn't commentate on United and Carragher should not commentate on Liverpool. I'm not watching LFC TV. I would prefer. I don't want Alan Smith either. In fact, there's a real dearth of good co-commentators these days. Now I think about it, but I don't want those two commentating because Neville's like Liverpool are being steamrolled. I'm like, are we? I don't feel like I remember games going at Old Trafford when you felt under siege. I don't feel like we were under siege. I just felt like we were playing badly. Like we weren't clearing lines. We lacked the composure and that word again, grit, to sort of just like calm it down a little bit. And that first goal was just sort of a complete symptom of it. There's a failure to clear lines, no one going out to the ball, more standing where they are, turning their backs to the ball, which then results in it flicking in off McAllister and in. Like Woodman's got no chance at that. Completely.
I know, Macca's arse has got its own gravitational pull, like Maguire's head. The ball's just drawn to it, isn't it?
But it's like,
that's a few times it hits him on the arse, these deflections.
It's just like, it's just abdicating responsibility. It's not doing the dirty work because they can't, whether they can't be asked, or I mean, I don't know what else it could be apart from can't be asked, or they're not. It's not drilled into them anymore, like because everything's a bit more relaxed in terms of the intensity of how we play. But the dirty work is not being done. Don't just stand there and turn your back. Go out to the man, push them back out. But no, let's turn our backs and let it deflect in off us. Poor.
Yeah. And it had been coming. Like the way it started, we were just.
But I wouldn't say they, like in Neville's words, steamrolled us. I don't think that was happening. It was our own ineptitude that was causing it, because they weren't even like. I don't even feel like it was like, again, like sometimes, even sometimes with Klopp, we'd go there and play not great. And what was that? It was Lallana when he scored the last minute equaliser.
Yeah.
And we played poorly that game. Really, like, seemed to be intimidated by Old Trafford. I didn't feel like this was an intimidated by Old Trafford performance. This was just like, it was just limp.
Yeah.
It could have been the 2-2 away at Fulham. It could have been the loss away at Brentford. It didn't matter that it was Old Trafford. It just was just the usual limp shit.
And Virgil not clearing the ball, missing that header, and Canate having to get back and cover for him. And there was just all stuff like that.
The second goal's even worse, right? Because that dickhead Sesko is on the ground, sprawled out, about 10 seconds before he scores. He goes down looking for a foul. The ball goes out wide to the left, gets put back in. In that time, he's back up, and still, I think it's Canate, manages to get back in front of Canate and tap it in.
Yeah.
That's like incredibly useless of our defence to have the guy on the floor. He's on the deck, scoring 10 seconds later because you're not alert to what's happening.
Yeah. I mean, the goal probably shouldn't have stood. Definitely shouldn't have stood. But at the time,
I didn't find any image 100% conclusive. To be fair.
Oh no,
No, I saw the second one, and I'm still looking at it.
Initially, it wasn't conclusive. Later on, when they showed that other one, the super zoom, you could see it on that.
I still didn't think. And again, I'm not being funny. If we're like zooming in on something that much,
no, I agree.
I'm like, I don't really care.
I agree with that. What I'm saying is, like, I didn't have a problem with it being given at the time because it's not conclusive. I thought it brushed his fingers, but I can't say that's 100% it hit him. And it's not the reason why the ball goes in the net. The ball's going in anyway, whether it brushed his fingers or not. So I've not got any like big grievance about that at all. But technically, it should not have counted because when you see that, the zoomed in one, it does definitely brush his fingers. That being said, VAR doesn't have access to that. So like that the thing that Sky showed, VAR does not have that. So without seeing that, there's no way that they can't disallow that goal because there's not enough conclusive evidence that it's touched his fingers. Now we see it later on when they do show the big zoomed in one, but the guy on VAR who apparently it's that fucking upside Toblerone shaped cunt who elbowed Robbo. He was the VAR today, apparently. But
like, VAR is meant to be clear and obvious. If you're super zooming in on it, then it's not that clear. Yeah, I'm not. But there's no but for me.
No, there is a but though, because whatever we think it should be, that's not what it is. Like, I'm totally with you. It should just be, that's not obvious. That's fine. But next week there'll be one like that, and they'll disallow it. That's the problem. So I do think we got a little bit unlucky with that, but at the same time, the ball's going in anyway. Whether it's touched his hand, that's not why he scored. So I've not got like a huge problem with it. The issue is, And it's not even really an issue because, like I say, VAR didn't have access to that conclusive angle. They can only make the decision based on the camera angles that they've got without the big super zoomed in close up. And based on that, you can't disallow a goal for that because it's just not clear that it hit his fingers. But it turns out later, oh yeah, it did brush his fingers, so technically that shouldn't be a goal. But I'm not feeling aggrieved or anything like that by it. And Slot spoke about it afterwards, and in fairness to him, he didn't make a big thing of it until he was asked about it, and then he threw in a little line about, oh, I'm not surprised because everything's gone against us this year. And I'm like, oh, stop it. No, just stop.
Do you reckon he's just projecting other things onto that?
I don't know.
Because otherwise I'm not having it, but like, if he's just lamenting his lot of this season, then I can sort of go, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, but VAR is not the reason why we've had the season we've had.
I feel sorry for the VAR because they have to watch the shit we put up with again when they're replaying it. So I've got all the sympathy in the world for the VAR to rewatch the shite we're doing.
Before we forget, while we're on the subject of VAR, what did you make of the Fernandes tackle late on? A lot of people are up in arms about that. I'm not really.
No, I'm not either. I never thought that. So, that's not going to get given as a red
too low
in that game.
He's got him on the foot. No, it's not high.
Yeah, it's that, but it's also in the game. That's just not going to given as a red. Now people can go or whatever, fine. But unfortunately, that's not what football is. This is why you shouldn't have VAR, because football is not as black and white. There are like varying shades of grey to decisions made in games sometimes. So I didn't think it was as high. It was a bad tackle, and he's a prick. But I didn't. If it had been like 2 inches higher, that'd have been a red.
I agree.
But it wasn't. So again, I'm not gonna. You've got the wrong person on to talk about bad refereeing decisions and lament them, because I'm sort of like, the game is the game and these things happen, and I would, there have been injustices in football. That is not one.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing that I would add to it is he did get away with murder with the constantly being in the referee's face. He could easily have got a second yellow for that. No? I know that's why he's probably got away with it, because he is the captain. But he was going like the full Tarkovsky. He was just following the referee around the pitch, just shouting at him.
But you can't do it if you're the captain. Up to a point.
Yeah.
And again, he's not going to get carded for that, because in that game, I tell you what, the last one.
Mascherano got a straight red, just for fucking saying, like, swearing at the ref.
But Mascherano's a dickhead, so
yeah. But Mascherano got a straight red because they decided they were bringing in this rule where we're not tolerating like dissent to referees anymore.
Yeah, I know.
They brought it in for that game and then just scrapped it. Never happens again.
It's like the Mick getting caught for like holding the ball for too long in Europe, and Michael Owen taking a penalty that had to be retaken because the keeper came off his line. All those things. Yeah, we do seem to have an unusually high amount of rules come in, they get enforced against Liverpool, and then they go, that's enough now, we've shown everybody, that's good. I do sort of get that. But I'm not going to get too animated about Fernandes being a knob. He is a knob. What are you going to do?
Is not the reason why we've lost the game today.
No, I thought the referee was all right, to be fair. Like, the game was let to flow. There were a few times United threw themselves to the ground, and he just sort of was like, no, play on, get up.
There was one with Mbemo in the first half, and 9 times out of 10, that gets given as a free kick because the referee's not really watching it, because it wasn't on. It was slightly off the ball, but he's seen it and was having none of it, and I thought, fair play to you, because most refs would fall for that, and you didn't. I tell you one thing that I did have a problem with was when Dom had the free kick and the wall was maybe 8 yards away, and then
this ran out and
they were all. I was saying, like, I'm screaming, I'm going, that's nowhere near 10 yards, because the shot from behind Dom, and that can be a little bit deceiving, because like they can look a lot closer to the ball than they actually are, because it's hard judging distance. But even that, I was like, there's no way that's 10 yards. And then when you see the side angle of it, it's about 8 yards back. And he charged out and blocked the free kick, and Dom's like just got his hands out and he's going, "Come on!" And the ref's just like, "No, it's fine." But other than that, no, I didn't have any issue with the referee.
I did like, just on a very quick tangent, I did like in the last home game, the keeper was time wasting and the ref booked him really early on for time wasting.
Yeah.
I found that quite refreshing. It was
Yeah.
about the 60th minute or 50th minute, something like that. He was like, "Oh, but that's enough for that. You're getting booked."
I think it was in the first half.
Well, do you know why? It might have been because it was at the Annie Road end.
Yeah,
it was.
It was the first half. He booked him.
Respect it even more then. Yeah, I thought it was early on the second, but no, it was at the Annie Road end. So yeah, it was first half.
And it was so needless. Like, why are you even wasting time? What have you watched us play this season?
Yeah, we'll waste our own time here, mate. Don't worry.
I know.
Yeah, no help necessary there. Yeah, I'm surprised, to be honest, that at 2-0 at half time, United didn't sort of like step on our throats and finish the game off.
Well, I think Gary Neville said at 2-0, he's like, a good team now goes and gets 3 or 4 before half time and kills the game. But here's the thing, they're not a good team.
They're not a good team, no.
So what happened is actually not really surprising at all when you think about it. I'm not saying I expected it, because I didn't. I was really shocked the way that the second half played out. But in hindsight, looking back on it, it's like, well, yeah, they're not a good side. You know, they've still got Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw playing for them.
How many times do we batter teams like in the first half, and then we'd sort of ease off in the second half, and we'd always be fuming?
Well, how many 2-0 leads have we blown?
Yeah.
So they blew the 2-0 lead, but they ended up winning the game anyway. But, you know, we've done that loads as well, because we're not a good team. So, but the way they've come out in the second half, I mean, so they had to make a change. So Sesko goes off, and Ahmad comes on. And I actually thought, oh shit, that puts us in even more trouble, because he's a good player, that Ahmad. Yeah. And I don't really rate Sesko much. And I'm like, oh, good, that's probably bad news for us. As it's turned out, it was bad news for them, because he makes the mistake that we score from. But it also meant, and Bermo went centre forward and did fuck all in the second half. He was lively when he was playing on the right. When he moved inside, he didn't really do much. It affected them. Like they just didn't look. They didn't have the same cutting edge that they had. And obviously that mistake comes so early in the second half. He passes the ball straight to Dom. I'm expecting Dom to do what he always does in those situations, which is just carry it forward and then just pick the wrong option or play a pass behind somebody or something like that. And instead, because he did have runners, I'm like, who's he going to pick out? And I'm looking, I'm going, don't give it to Gakpo. And
good run from Gakpo, I thought, though.
It was, yeah, but that's by the by. It's like, I'm thinking, don't give him the ball. Like, it was a good run by him.
Do you feel like that was a run that he wasn't at that point? He wasn't actually running to receive the ball. He was running to create the room for Szoboszlai to run through, right?
Quite possibly. I'm not knocking Gakpo by saying don't give him the ball. I'm just saying I wouldn't have passed to him. He's, I think it's a good run. But it's also hilarious when you're watching Harry Maguire. He's like moving like a fridge, a fridge on a trolley when you're trying to manoeuvre it. That was when he's like turning one way and then turning the other. Tom must have just thought, well, what the fuck's this? This is easy. And he just couldn't believe his luck, went past him, and then he's just slotted it in the corner nicely. So it's a really, really well taken goal from Dom. But it did surprise me, because I feel like that might be his biggest weakness, is those overload situations. The amount of times he just takes, and not just him, as a team we're normally terrible in those situations.
But again, I have to give Gakpo credit, because I think he's run across to take the runner with him, leaving him with no choice but what he's going to do. I think when Dom's got the choice, that's when the problem is. The
other factor, he couldn't just defer to Mo, which he always, whenever he's on one of those breaks, he's just rolling it to Mo. Every single time. He couldn't do that today, so he's had to take responsibility himself. He's done it, and it's a really good goal.
Good finish.
And then, United, they just seem to be all over the place after that.
Again, it's a mark of both teams, though, right? Because we only show any sort of like spirit when the odds are going in our favour. When the odds are against us, we show no spirit, and we sort of like just curl up into a ball. So we're not flat track bullies, but like we're certainly, when the going's good, we're good, and when it gets tough, we fuck right off and we don't want to know. And the same way United are a bit like that. They sort of wilted when the going got tough, because they're not a good team, and they lack that grit as well.
Yeah,
So I mean, we are very similar teams, and all that happened is that the scales got balanced the other way once that goal went in. They sort of panicking, and then it led to the second goal.
yeah, it's truly terrible from United's point of view. Just,
Unnecessary
but
as
it's
well.
really good from McAllister. He sort of sells him a little dummy.
Yeah.
He's going one way, and then he must know where the ball's going to go, because he immediately just darts back, intercepts it, plays it into Dom. Really calm, cool decision. Just rolls it to Gakpo, and he keeps his head and finishes it well. I just thought, it's terrible from United, but that's so well executed from us. And again, it surprised me, because I'm just used to us messing up those kind of situations. But we did what we're supposed to do. I'm like, that was really good. I like that. It's like, okay, it's a mistake from them, but we're pressing on the edge of the box, winning it, and then executed it really well. And it's 2-2, and from that point, that's where we should have gone on to win the game, because we were on top. We were knocking on the door. Then Rio
I
comes
think
on
this
as
is
well.
where the weak ass bench kills us.
Yeah, to an extent, I would agree. Yeah, but I mean, Rio comes on, but he come on, and I don't think like the shape was right. He was sort of on the right in a 4-4-2 or something. And
It took a while. He came on ice cold. It took a while for him to warm up a little
so
bit.
he's involved in their goal with not tracking the runner. It gets played inside him, where he maybe shouldn't be in that position if he's playing like on the left where he normally is. He wouldn't have been there. So I think that didn't help us. But there's more to it than just getting beat by one pass and then a cross comes in. Other people have still got to do a better job there. McAllister, for one, like missing his clearance, just
terrible, lazy.
Yeah, it's just
lazy, not just
good.
physically but mentally.
Yeah,
that's
sloppy.
You're not switch. So for all the credit we can give him for our second goal, for pulling the feint and winning the ball back. This is the opposite. This is lazy. And again, whether it's physical or mental, it's not good enough when you're in those sorts of situations. You can't just flick a boot out at it lazily and go, well, that's good enough. He had enough time to actually take a touch and then wallop it clear.
Curtis Jones doesn't do that in that situation. Curtis is bringing the ball down, dropping the shoulder, and then just picking a pass out to somebody.
Looking for an outlet, yeah. And if not, walloping it clear.
Yeah.
Just to clear the lines. It was,
It was like a bit of panic, wasn't it? He just sort of thrashed at it. And
as soon as he did it, as soon as like the clearance sort of went like that, I thought, oh, they're going to score. You can just feel it. You can feel the whole setup, the way the edge of the area was opened up. All you need is someone to run onto that and just get a good clean contact, and you're in big trouble.
It's a good
and
finish.
It's exactly what happened.
It's right in the corner, Woodman.
Yeah.
Because initially I'm thinking, maybe Woodman could do something, and you look at it like, he's not got a chance of getting anywhere near.
No, you could if you really want to be harsh, you could maybe level some criticism at him for the second goal a little bit. But
that's what I was saying about maybe Alisson.
Yeah,
we concede one less goal if the best goalkeeper in the world is there, but it's not because
I thought Woodman was fine, to be fair.
Yeah,
and if I was being mad harsh, and I'm not being harsh on him, I just don't think he was the factor today. I think he did everything he was asked to do.
But he is not the world's best goalkeeper. Is my point. So
no,
not that he's at fault in any way. I'm not looking at it and going, you should have done this, you could have done that.
He's not giving you those extra hit points that Alisson is.
I'm just thinking maybe Alisson might have done something on not the third goal, but like maybe one of the first two he might have. But no, the second one is where you think maybe Alisson might have done something, but it's not a goalkeeper mistake by any means. He was fine, no issue with him at all. No. But yeah, that the third goal's obviously the decisive one. Never really felt like we were gonna get back into it after that.
No, again, we're not strong enough mentally to do so. And again, don't get me wrong.
Possession around the box though, but it just never felt like it was going to lead to anything.
But because because again the wind's not on our sails, so we're now indecisive. We're now not cutting through. There was I think I called it a triangle of sadness, which is not what that means, but it doesn't matter. On the edge of the area, it was Frimpong, Dom, and Wirtz, and they were just passing it around. Like Frimpong would sort of do step over and like go at the defender. Then he took it inside to Dom. Dom did a little flick back to Wirtz. Wirtz did a little flick back to Frimpong. Frimpong did it again. Then Wirtz back to Wirtz. Wirtz drove in back to Dom, and then we lost it and off they went. And it's like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
No cutting edge. No like driving it. I would just prefer Frimpong to just like drive at them and see what happens at that point. There's nothing else you can do. Like, you're going nowhere. You're doing nothing.
That's the thing he's good at. And he's got a good cross on him. I mean, he did pick out a fucking stunning ball, like whipped it right
across the area. Yeah, switch the play.
But that he can do that. I don't feel like we play to his strengths at all. And I said like when we signed him, I hope I've said it on the pod. I hope we never see him playing in the front three, because this. It really winds me up that a lot of managers do this, and like a lot of fans think it as well. It's like, just because you're a good attacking fullback, people think that automatically means, you should play on the wing. We did it with Glenn Johnson for years. People were saying Glenn Johnson should be a right winger. If you play him there, he's going to be shit. But if you play him further back, he's coming from deeper. There's more space to be running forward onto things, and you can be a really good attacking fullback. Playing as a winger is just a world of difference. It's not suited to Frimpong at all. Well, like, I think he could be an effective attacking right back in a team that's better than us. The team that plays better football than we do. We know he can, because he was great for Leverkusen. He's one of the most exciting players in Europe, but he's not being for us. And seeing him in the front three is exactly what I feared it would be. It's just pointless.
Well, as a wise man said, where's his best position?
Yeah, Germany.
I
wasn't talking about Frimpong when I said that, but it does equally apply. I was talking about Walter Marder, wasn't I? And yeah, or Walter Mendy, as Dan calls him. Yeah, but
a very astute observation, a great line. And I actually like Frimpong, but I think he may be too small for this league, and he's a trier. But I mean, he's not. I don't think he's gonna. He's definitely not being set up to succeed.
No.
Where he's being played like today.
No
chance. Or with this team, to be fair, because they're not really getting, like, there's no, like, you can overlap, but it's kind of pointless overlapping if the bit you're overlapping is not passing the ball to you and is slowly recycling the ball to each other. Then it's not an overlap. Then you're just warming up on the pitch.
Yeah, which applies on the other side even more when Kerkers has been playing with Gakpo.
Yeah, but it's baffling. It's been baffling all season. It doesn't get less baffling now.
No, I mean, I thought Rio was a bright spot.
Well, I thought he had to warm up. I thought he looked like ice cold, and then he sort of shook it off. And did
run where he ends up running it out of play,
ran out of space.
It was so exciting. He just like skinned 3 players and just
pushes the team back though, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it just
puts
makes
him on the back foot. That's the point.
Something might happen. Give him the ball, and he had that other one when he cut inside, and he just couldn't get enough bend on it. Like, but
as opposed to Chiesa's final throw in, which was like, yep, that sums it up.
Yeah, he just threw it straight up his chest.
Having an argument with who was it?
It was Dom, because Dom was wanting the throw in, and he threw it at his chest.
Yeah.
So he tries to just chest it back to him, and then like it's short, and then they end up United won the throw. But if he just throws that back to Dom, he's unmarked, and not that it would have made any difference. But it just kind of sums things up, doesn't he? But
it's some, and that's when I sort of went, like Fede's had his
he did all right though. He had like a good little run and cross on the left. I thought he looked quite lively. I always feel like he might do something, but as the season's gone on, his impact's been less and less. But in fairness, he's hardly getting any time on the pitch, and when he is getting put on, it's in completely like lost cause situations where we're not even knocking on the door and putting pressure on. But we did the old take Canate off for a strike thing once again. It didn't work.
Yeah. Didn't work. Never works.
Pointless. Just an utterly pointless thing to do.
Like we ended up today, pointless.
Yeah. Okay. 6 points behind United now. That's a 56-point swing, I think, was it? 46. What was it? I seen on the forum before somebody had posted like the swing from last season to this season with United.
Well, it's got to be because we were champions and they were fucking awful last year.
I know, but
So yeah,
it's they've like probably improved more than anybody points wise from last year, and
only when Carrick took over though, they were still
yeah,
like, if they'd have had if they'd have had Amarin still in charge, they'd be nowhere near this.
no, that's true. And he's just got them just doing basics. It's not like he's
Well,
transformed them. He's just made
but I
them less
also
shit.
think, but I think also Amarin was just a bad fit. Didn't want to be there.
Yeah,
Tactics weren't working. So all you have to do in that case is just like, all right, so what are the factors here? Tactics aren't working because the players don't fit. The guy clearly doesn't want to be here. Oh, okay, no problem. So if you change him, if you get rid of a person who clearly doesn't want to be there, he seemed like he had the weight of the world on his shoulders. So if you get rid of him, you don't want to be here. Fine. Here's someone who does want to be here, who will be engaged. It's going to just uplift people just on
yeah,
that alone. You don't have to be a great tactician. You have to go, right, lads, we're going to be less shit by doing that. We'll just do the simple things well, and everything else will follow, hopefully.
and that's exactly what they've done. And they're still a really limited team. The fact that they're still playing Shaw and Maguire just
Yeah.
tells you all you need to know. But he's just got
We've
them not doing like the shit stuff that they were doing. They're just more
With
back
a
to
cautionary
basics.
tale,
Just
you can
yeah,
spend a
well,
lot of money, but if you don't spend the right money, and if you just go for vanity signings or big name signings, and they don't fit, you could end up setting yourself back years.
yeah,
They're a very cautionary tale, and we've really flirted with the edge of that this summer.
yeah. There's a lot of similarities in this season with us, with what United have been over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Because in theory, there's a good chance we're going to finish fourth. Had we won today, you could have even said we might finish third. And people would say, well, in 2 seasons with Liverpool, Slot's like finished first and third, stroke fourth.
Yeah.
Is that not fine? What's the problem? But that ignores all the context of it and having to actually watch these games and what you see, and you just know this is not right. It just isn't. But like, if the facts are the facts, it's like it's probably going to be first and maybe fourth. Or we've still got to play Villa away, so who knows? But it doesn't
At
feel
12:30 as well.
yeah, it doesn't feel like that's any kind of an achievement at all.
There is no achievement in this. Look, again, you've got we don't really dance around it, but like you've got to just like lay out the cards on the table again. This isn't good. The style of football isn't good. The squad composition isn't good. We're limping towards Champions League, but getting to Champions League is a means to an end. It's not meant to be like the goal. It's
Yeah,
just part of the process. You're meant to do every year as a big club. Liverpool's a big fucking club, and I don't mean that as like a look at us thing. You've got all the resources in the world. This shouldn't happen. You should set yourself up. Sure, you're not in the league like the Bundesliga, like Bayern, or in La Liga with like Barcelona, Real Madrid. The Premier League, by nature, because there's so much money sloshing around, can be a bit more competitive. But you have all the advantages. You've had all the advantages, all the competitive advantages, all the monetary advantages. You are in a position of strength, and this is the best you can come up with. And heads after roll, you can't, like in any business, you cannot have this level of underperformance. And again, I feel like this is a crossroads moment. How many times have I said, like, I don't know where we'd have ended up if Rodgers had won the league? They were singing about Steven Gerrard falling over today. I don't get that, right? Because I couldn't give a shit. We've won the league twice since then. Do I feel bad for Steven Gerrard? Not really. He's won lots of trophies. He's a millionaire. He's got a nice family. He's got a nice home. He's good. He's all good. I'm sure for him it's bad, but for me, I don't. It's not my problem. At the time, it was really bad. But if Rodgers had been the man to end the mad wait that we'd have had for the league, there is no way that they'd have sacked him when they did, because they'd have been like, oh well. First of all, fan sentiment wouldn't have been so far over on him. It'd have been, I think, if the season after it played out roughly as it was, losing Suarez, signing the Waterman and Balotelli, then maybe like fan sentiment would have shifted, but there'd have been like a lot of goodwill because he was the one who ended this big wait for the title. And I don't think we'd have got Klopp at that time. Klopp may have still have come, but I don't think at that time, and the trajectory might have changed. So in the end, although it was extremely painful when we lost the league in that way, ultimately it turned out all right. Got
Just a
Klopp.
quick point on that. Let's not forget who signed all of those players.
Well, I'm going to come back to that. Don't worry, I was going to round back on that.
Markovic.
Right? um, oh, oh God, Markovic. Fucking hell. The ultimate spreadsheet player there, I'm assuming, because like completely ill-suited to the league and temperament, application. Again, a foreshadowing.
Apparently, Edward sees him as his biggest mistake. One of the geeks who, it might be Ian Graham, it might not be him, I don't know, but one of them done an interview and they said like about signing players on the data and stuff, and like, but that's the one that Edwards looks at as his biggest mistake. Markovic.
But you've got to do character work, right? Because again, it's no good having a team full of fair weather players that when the wind's in their sails, they're good, but when the wind turns against them, they're like, gone below deck here. I'm not getting involved in changing the rigging or anything. Fuck that. That's somebody else's job. Like, and Markovic is just like the ultimate vision of that. He might have looked good on paper, but he lacked the grit and the application to play any sort of football in England. It was woeful. But we're at that crossroads now. You can say Arne Slot won you the Premier League. He deserves more time. He won the Premier League, and I can say, okay, that's fine. But I don't agree with you. I think he's lost any chance of returning this around. The style of football is not well suited to the Premier League. He's not maximizing what he's got in the squad. He's actually making them worse.
Minimize it.
And if you minimize it. And if you hold on to him for any longer, you are going to do far more damage to the club, and it's going to take even longer. For every month you delay, add 6 months on for the recovery time next season. If he stays, keep adding the time limit on, because every 6 months is a transfer window you've got to sort out with. Every month you carry on, every time you lose another game in this fashion is another month of players going, my agent's called, I'm not going there. Not interested. Yeah. Oh, they're offering this. We will never be Manchester United I know you're going to say Gakpo and Gravenberch, but they're already here. We're not going to be Manchester United in offering mad wages to someone coming in, like to overpay to get them in. Because we didn't do it with Gay in the summer, which is, again, turns out a huge error. Because, again,
you should have built Isak, though, and Vert, I suppose.
No, I don't. I disagree. I think when you spend Isak, maybe Vert, no, because he is Europe's hot young prospect. He's got good pedigree. I think you're paying him his book value. I've got no. That's not it. It's like saying Isak may turn out to be that, but it's like buying Balotelli and offering him 200,000 a week. It's not. It's an overpay for a player that doesn't need. You shouldn't be buying in the first place, and you definitely shouldn't be giving him that. But every month that you delay making this decision, this carries on, you're going to have to either do that, or those players aren't going to come. And Jurgen Klopp's not walking in the door to turn Adam Lallana into Iron Man, running through brick walls, or turning James Milner into like above average quality left back. It's not happening. It's not. You're not going to get that. Even though someone might want, say, Alonso or Iriola. Those players aren't going to be able to do that. It is a crossroads moment. You either go, Arne, thank you for the league title. It's not working out. We have to make this change. All the best in your future endeavours, and you just part ways, or you carry on. You do the Rodgers thing. You go, Arne, maybe Giovanni Van Bronckhorst's not really cutting it. Maybe you got someone. Get Pasco. Maybe there's someone over in the Netherlands that there's like I don't know, Clarence Van Pasco over in the Netherlands that you can bring in or something. It's no good. It's done.
Gary Van Callister.
Yeah. I know it was the other guy. He was like the ex-Doncaster boss, wasn't he?
I can't even remember, but I'd forgotten about that.
Like a proper lower league old stager manager, like quite a well-respected one as well. But it's like, hang on a second, what's going on? Yeah, But this is the crossroads we're at for me now. And if anyone listens and disagrees, that's fair enough. It's only my opinion. What do I know? But the similarities in not between the managers themselves. I think Slot's a far better manager than Rodgers. I think he's a far better man than Rodgers. But you're still at that crossroads where it isn't working out. This isn't going to get any better. But I think we'd have had a problem trying to sack Rodgers if he'd been the one to end the long wait. And I think he'd have gone on too long and it would have done damage. And it'll be the same now for Slot. Either you pull the trigger on him and you go, thanks, but we're done. Or if you want to continue with persisting with this for whatever reason, it's not going to lead to anything good. It's just delaying the inevitable.
I think what muddies the waters though is obviously he's only got a year left on his contract. So I said this like months ago. It's like, well, you've either got to give him a new contract or sack him. You can't really just let him go into the final year. But the other issue is that the people above him are in the same position. So there's lots of talk that Hughes is going to Saudi. That resurfaced again this week, saying it's really close. Why
would he go there? They're pulling all monies.
See, this is the thing. On the face of it, that seems a bit weird. It's like you've got one of the best jobs in world football. You know, you're running Liverpool. That's like, if you're a director of football, that's your goal, is to end up at like a team
big club like Liverpool.
It's got to be one of like the top 5 jobs in the world for a director of football. Why would you give that up to go to Saudi? Now, for me, it feels like, well, we've got 2 people basically doing the same job, because what I would love to know what Michael Edwards' day-to-day looks like, because he's not like, he's brought in to do the whole multi-club thing. That's gone by the wayside. That's not happening anymore. So what does he do? He's getting paid 10 million a year to do what? What does he do? So he's either overseeing Liverpool, getting in Richard Hughes' way, Richard Hughes is having to clear everything with him, or he's standing back completely and letting Richard Hughes run the show, in which case he's getting paid for nothing. So
muddies the waters on accountability as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it certainly does. And then if Richard Hughes is looking to move on to Saudi, that tells me he's not got any job satisfaction yet, and it's probably because he's thinking, well, I'd like to do this, or I can't because I've got to run it upstairs first to
Why
see
Saudi,
if like
do you
Edwards
think?
is okay.
No compete clause?
Who else would want him?
Well,
What's he done to make you... Well, Bournemouth have done all right since he's gone. I think that the guy who's... I think Steve Francis, he was a defender for them. I think he's taken over from Hughes. He was getting linked with somebody this week.
With like what about like a Wolves going down, a Coventry coming up?
It's the money though, isn't it? If he's going to get like big money to go to Saudi for a couple of years, then he probably thinks, yeah, might as well. But the fact he's even considering going tells me that he's not being able to do the job the way he wants to do the job. Now that's just speculation, but if this is the top of the mountain, this is where you want to be. If that is your job, if you're like a director of football, once you've got a job like this, you don't walk away from it. Not unless like something's not right and you've not got job satisfaction.
Where would be better, because Barcelona haven't got any money, although there is prestige in being at Barcelona. Real Madrid, you don't really get a say, do you? You know, it's Perez's show.
Yeah.
Bayern Munich, but then you've got all the old stages always getting involved at Bayern. But I don't know how really Bayern works. So maybe Bayern Munich would be great. And it's basically Paris Saint-Germain again, state project. So as long as they leave you to run it, but again, how much satisfaction is there in like really only competing for the Champions League? The goal is in England, right? Because Manchester United, Arsenal, Liverpool, City, not Chelsea.
Well, Chelsea have got like 10 people doing that job, haven't they? They've got a whole team of sporting directors. It's not like a one-man thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I mean. Like you would not walk away from this job unless like there's reasons for it. You've not got satisfaction. Now, the most obvious thing to me is that he's not able to do it his way, or he knows he's not getting a contract and he's thinking, I'm a lame duck. What's the point in me staying just for the 1 year? Edwards is in the same position. He's only got the same length of time on his contract. How can we have these people deciding our future? That's the thing for me. Like, their futures
I
are
don't.
uncertain. How can
I
you let
suppose.
them make those decisions?
I suppose if you want to be optimistic, you think they probably aren't, and we're just playing out till the end of the season, and then it'll maybe be like the Monday after the Super Bowl in
Yeah,
the NFL,
Black
and everyone
Monday.
Black Monday, and
Yeah,
everyone gets shit canned. Maybe like Mike Gordon or John Henry or maybe Billy Hogan or someone's just like they've already made the decisions. Like it's just we're playing out the season, lads. Say nothing. Keep it tight. You're all gonna get payoffs. If you talk, you're not getting your payoffs. So shut the fuck up.
but then what
Um,
though? Who's negotiating for new players?
well, listen. If you're still under contract, you still have an obligation to do the job properly, or otherwise you will lose all the money you're getting paid. So whilst they might be leaving, you still have to negotiate properly and do the job properly. You're being paid, and if you want the payoff, you will do it properly.
But they're picking the players as well. They're picking the
I would,
signings when they
I
in
mean,
theory, may not even be here.
are
Why?
they though? Like, there's a full recruitment team. Maybe it's just been like deferred. I don't know. I'm not in the room, but I'm trying to put an optimistic
No,
spin
none of
on
us
it.
do.
Yeah.
That's the point. There's so much uncertainty there. Who's
Yeah,
making
it'll become
the
clear.
plans for the
It'll become
future?
clear a week after the season's end. I would hope. I would hope by the final game of the season's on a Sunday, the last Sunday of May. I think it's bank holiday. So I would hope that by the first week of June there might be some clarity about what's going on here. If we get to the time the World Cup starts and there's no clarity, that's a huge red flag and not good news.
No, that just tells you that this standing pat, nothing's going to
Status
change.
quo.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the good status quo either. I think so. It's all about time frames now and a waiting game. But I think FSG should not underestimate the mood of the fan base right now.
Yeah, well, they're already testing people's patience with the ticket price increase and that, and it's just the fucking nerve putting the prices up while we're watching this,
Do you know what? That doesn't bother me. The price increase bothers me. Putting it up when we shit. Putting them up when we shit. If you're gonna put them up, you're gonna put them up. So they're only doing what they were gonna do anyway,
you've got to
whether we
sell
were
us
good or
hope.
shit.
You can't just
No,
say no, we're just going to carry on as things are, but we're
no,
putting the
no.
prices
Again,
up
I mean, I
anyway.
wouldn't be putting the prices up anyway
No,
because
they
I feel like
shouldn't
it's
be,
such a
but
drop in the.
to do it when you're not even selling hope, it's just
Again,
a big fuck you, isn't it?
no, because they were going to do it this season anyway. They've delayed it for ages. They were always going to push their luck. They've had it planned for a lot longer than when they've announced it. So, I mean, I just think it's stupid to do it. I think you lose tremendous goodwill by doing it. Um, you know, I saw a comment to the pod the other day that's like, that our prices are half the price of Arsenal, and I'm like, so?
I know. What's that got to do with anything?
So what? Like, first of all, if Arsenal fans are going to get fleeced, if they want to protest, I'll stand with them and back them. But if they want to accept it and just move on, then that's their own fucking problem. If they've got a problem with it and they want to raise awareness of it, I'm with them. I can't stand Arsenal fans as a rule, but I'm with any set of fans that protest ticket prices.
Yeah.
You don't, especially at the top end. Like, it's not as important as in the lower championship and below. It's in the Premier League, it's not that important because the money on the TV deals is so high. You're like letting Mo Salah go. Mo's wages for 1 month, that's the increase gone. So what's the point? All you're trying to do really is normalize the price rises. It's so silly. It's such a battle that you're never going to win it at Liverpool anyway. You're just not. Like, everyone knows the value of it and knows what's too much and what a regular person can afford. And their bigger concern should be that there's no fucking kids at the match anymore. There's no gangs of lads at the match anymore. It's all old fuckers going. Your fan base is your long-term fan base. This is not just a Liverpool thing. Is this is every big Premier League team. It's a concern because the young people aren't going. They're watching it on TikTok. You've got people like at FIFA going like, well, maybe matches should be 60 minutes. Never compromise your product to fit people. People will gravitate to your product if your product is accessible and good. And it's not accessible for people to go to the match anymore. Like, I don't for a second think look wistfully back and go, when you have to queue up for hours beforehand, like, no,
Still
that's
do.
shit as well. Yeah, well, yeah, yeah, that's shit, right? That was shit then. I mean, there was a camaraderie in it, but it was shit then. It is shit now. But there is a problem with like the age demographic at the match now, because there's an age demographic problem with the match. In theory, everyone who goes can probably afford it better than any kids that were going could afford it. But again, it's not about the price raise. They are trying to normalize raising the price every year.
Yeah.
And there's no need to do
It's
it.
going to get like America, like the price of American
They,
sports.
they would
Unless
love
the team's doing shit and then the tickets are all on StubHub for like $10. But when
yeah,
the big teams are doing well, the ticket prices are just,
astronomical.
yeah.
And they probably look wistfully at like the prices they charge for gigs at Anfield. And like, oh, we'd love a bit of that. We'd love people to be paying 200 quid to be standing on the pitch, or, paying 70, 80 quid to
Oh,
sit
well,
at the
but we're
back.
paying Gakpo fucking 250 grand to just stand on the pitch, so.
But like, you could be at the gate, you could be one of these gigs in like the Cop, and paying like 70, 80 quid, props more, to sit in the Cop directly in front of the stage. But you're miles back, and like the camber, the angle of the Cop is not like, it is not really built for like, it's built for football more than anything. The angle's too low. You need it to be much sharper so you can, you feel closer.
Yeah.
At the back, imagine, I just think sitting at the back of the Cop and watching a gig, it's pointless. You're just watching the tellies at this point. But they'd love to be charging those gig prices, because gigs are where all music artists make their money these days, because there's no money in albums anymore, because Spotify's ruined it for everybody. But as I say, Liverpool as a fan base, we know the value of it. We know what the limit should be, like, for what you're charging, for what you're making elsewhere.
Yeah.
And
what you're paying out. I mean, they're paying agents 30 odd million a year as well.
So I don't go with it's tone deaf when we're shit. It's tone deaf whenever you do it, because you just don't need to do it. It's a complete waste of. It's 1.3 million quid. Do you know what? Again, that's a lot to you or I. That lump sum, and the overall cost throughout the season is, whilst it might not be a lot, it's still something to you and I. It takes out of our budgets. It doesn't do anything to the clubs realistically.
No.
Nothing at all.
Nothing.
You could negotiate with a supplier and get a cost cut on your shit hot dogs or something like that. Or rumours are they're looking to arse off Standard Chartered and get a new sponsor and make like £20 million more a season. So why are you raising the ticket prices? It's crazy. Like, Liverpool sponsorship is crazy, because we're the only team in the Premier League era of 35 years to have two sponsors. Like, that's all we've ever had, is two shirt sponsors. It's absolute stability. But also, what kind of in the Moors era, we all knew we weren't getting good renegotiations with Carlsberg, but we are with FSG. But they obviously feel like they've tapped out Standard Chartered at this point. But you can make the money on the new sponsorship. You fucking got a sleeve patch. The training kit is sponsored.
Yeah, I know.
You've monetized everything. It's pointless.
But my argument, and what I said on the last pod, is like, you can say, well, you can get that 1.3 million by doing this, and they'll go, oh yeah, well, we'll do that, but we'll still get the 1.3 million as well.
Yeah, I put it this way. They'll want that 1.3 million more if they neglect the football inside, and tickets become a lot easier to get hold of because people don't want to go, because a worldwide massive fan base is only good when you're good. It's not that great when you're shit, because no one wants to travel to watch them. We've
already seen that in
this
recent
season.
weeks.
Yeah, we have tickets are available on the day of the game.
Yeah, where they never were before. It was impossible, but now there's tickets available. Returns that aren't getting taken up.
Yeah, but you risk if you let the performance football side continue to like this. It's a lot harder to renegotiate with Expedia or Google or Nivea for Men, whoever else the fuck we've got deals with. When you're not you're not at the top table, and you're not winning leagues, you're not even competing for leagues, you just sort of like get into the Champions League, get into the last 16 and get knocked out. Those sponsors will go, well, there's not much prestige being associated with your brand at the moment, so we won't pay you what we're paying you. I mean, Adidas did it. I mean, Adidas did it to us. They fucked us off as soon as they could under the under FSG. I mean, FSG were looking for more money because, again, they were trying to remonetize the club. Fine, that's their prerogative, no problem with that. And Adidas were like, no, you're shit.
Do you think Adidas are like
I hope
desperately
they do.
looking through the contract, seeing if they've got an escape clause?
I hope they do. Fucking Adidas, like they make some nice gear and stuff like that, but they've never been very like kind, like treated Liverpool like an absolute priority. Considering the love that Adidas has on Merseyside, and always like, people love the gear and the trefoil, they've never really been shown much love to the football club for my money. Not compared to other teams they've been working with.
They gave us like the same kit as Bulgaria.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't even give us our own unique kit. Like lazy bastards.
No. Yeah, I mean, it was a different time in the 90s. Like football kit, that was the era of football kits really starting to be a money spinner. But like, I just think back to the end of the Hodgson Dalglishers when they were like, we're not going to pay you a lot because you're shit. So we went off with fucking Warrior. I mean, it's New Balance really, but like Warrior, New Balance were far more willing to pay us some money that we were worth than Adidas were, because he's like, no, not going to do it.
Yeah.
New Balance took us to court because they wanted to keep us on because we were such a money spinner for them. That's commitment. Adidas haven't shown any commitment, and like there'll be clauses in that deal like, we're not paying you this because you've not done this. It'll be all that sort of stuff. So again, the hidden cost of like keeping a manager that's underperforming, that this current situation we're in, they'll see it on the balance sheet within 6 months if it carries on into next season.
Yeah. Not to mention like the money you're losing on signings and players who you let go, who you shouldn't let go, and
I mean, the squad composition is negligence, but like Slot's attitude to the squad is also like costing money.
They go hand in hand.
It's taking money out of the club's pocket.
They're not going to be selling a load of squad players who he's making use of and picking regularly.
No, we're back into the Nabil El Zar zone.
He wants a small squad.
Yeah, but we're going to end up in the Nabil El Zar zone where we like let them go for free, or get like £500,000 for them if we're lucky. And it's like it's a grubby part of football, but it is part of the football model these days, and you have to sort of work with it. But again, it's negligence from Slot to not really utilise the squad in that way, not be interested in what we're bringing through in the academy, not making people feel a part of it. So you're just devaluing assets, and again, it's a terrible way to look at it, but you're devaluing assets in the squad. So it doesn't help the financial health of the football club anymore. And again, the £1.3 million ticket price isn't making up for those shortfalls anyway. I feel like this is a real crossroads moment. There's a choice to be made here, and if you make the wrong one, you're going to set yourselves back years, and it'll take a while to recover from.
I agree, and some people are using that as a reason to keep him. And I feel like that's just more of, it's like, well, be careful what you wish for and all of that. And it's like, look, getting rid of him is not the wrong decision. Now, if they then go and hire some fucking bum that makes us worse, that still doesn't mean it was the wrong decision to be getting rid of Slot. That just
you hired Ten Hag.
It means you fucked up the next decision. That's a separate issue. Like, you need to separate the two things. So he needs to go, and then you've got to get the right person. Because if you get the wrong person, then you're further down the road to becoming what Man United have been. But that doesn't mean you should keep someone who like, and we know, when you know, and we know, you know how it feels, how it smells, everything about it is like, we know where we are. He is going to have to go. If he stays, we're in trouble. Now, that may well end up like he goes and then they hire someone who's completely wrong and we end up worse. It's possible that happens. That's not a reason to keep him, though. That's a reason to be looking at who are the decision makers. Do you trust the decision makers? If not, then you're going to have to get new decision makers. And that, I feel, is so much uncertainty because who is making those decisions? They're all at the same time on the contracts. Who's committed? Who isn't? Why would you be committed if you think you're not getting a contract? And there was some shit the other week that got briefed. I think it might have been Ornstein wrote it, and it was so obvious that it had come from Edwards.
Well, if it's Ornstein, it usually has.
The one when it said something like Edwards and Hughes signed a 3-year contract, and that's all they saw this was. They just saw it as a short-term project, and they had no intention of extending beyond that. I thought, fuck off.
So it's like
Absolute
The first George
nonsense.
Bush in The Simpsons writing his memoirs. And since I achieved everything in my first term, I didn't see the point in having a second term.
This notion that
Some
they
damn
signed a
good
3-year
memoirs.
contract and they're thinking, oh yeah, we'll just do 3 years here and then we'll move on somewhere else. Behave yourselves. Absolutely behave yourselves. Where are
No,
you
that's
going?
us covering of the highest order.
It's just, but this is the kind of shit that's getting like put out there, like spin, absolute
Unhappy ship.
garbage.
Unhappy ship.
Yeah, well, it feels like
Springs.
that. Edwards is, and I understand his point of view. I would be unhappy if he's taking a job on the premise that yeah, we're buying these other clubs and we want you to run the whole portfolio of clubs, and then it's like, actually, you know what? If this is too complicated, we're not doing it. No, I'm glad we're not doing it. We should never have been doing that anyway. But that's not the point. That was his job, and that job's kind of being taken away. He's still getting well paid regardless. So, I mean, just take your 10 million and just play golf for a year, whatever you want to do. But I understand why he'd be thinking, well, what's the point in me being here? So, is he now just going to run Liverpool while the other fella takes a job in Saudi? Or are they both going? Or does one get a new contract and the other doesn't? I just don't know how any of this is going to play out because there's just too much uncertainty.
I suppose we have to hope that FSG know how it's going to play out.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to hope that like Mike Gordon gets more involved again. He seems to have taken a backseat because Edwards came back on that, but he needs to get involved.
But it is a case of, lads,
out.
you're fucking with our asset here. This is a multi-billion pound asset, and you're absolutely devaluing it and causing a problem. We can't have this.
But so talk to me then about what happened with the Red Sox, because all we know is a month into the season they fired all the coaching staff and we all go, oh, that's going to be us next year, first international break, we'll have started badly, and it's like, okay, he's going to have to go. But what's the, like, Red Sox fans are pissed off with like the way FSG have been running things.
Yeah, for years.
Are they asked? It's like, is the money's coming in so they don't care? Can we relate that to us as well? Are they that bothered? If we're in the Champions League places, do they give a shit that whether it's fifth or first?
Full disclosure, I'm not up on baseball as much as I used to be because I'm old now and I can't stay awake for anything anymore. So from what I understand though, it's a clash of GM and coaching. So Craig Breslau's the GM. Former Red Sox player, former baseball player, and very, very sabermetric led, I believe. And the players he's brought in, I mean, from what I understand, like Cora was not getting the tune out of them, was not like the coaching, in-game coaching was not what it should have been. There were mistakes and stuff like that.
This sounded very familiar.
Yeah, but it was basically a clash of the GM and the head coach, and at some point it was always going to culminate in one of them going. Cora's been there for ages, and has won him a World Series. Has he? Yeah, I'm sure he has. Yeah, won him a World Series, I think in 2018. Got suspended by baseball for was this? I can't remember what he was he suspended for?
Was it sign stealing?
I'm sure it was the Astro sign stealing thing or something like that. Got suspended. They brought him back once his suspension was lifted. He's been there for years, but Red Sox fans haven't been very happy with FSG. They feel like they've neglected them for years because they've let star players go. They haven't really paid out on big contracts a lot. They haven't really addressed team needs. I never feel like the Red Sox have ever got a really solid pitching staff. They always seem to cobble it together through the season. It went wrong after 2018 when they let Mookie Betts go to the Dodgers. That was a huge red flag of ambition because
it's like when you let Darwin go to Saudi.
Exactly, it's like that.
Yeah.
Generational player is Mookie, great guy, and they just let him go to the Dodgers. So it's not like this is not a short-term problem. This has been a longer-term problem for the Red Sox than probably at Liverpool. But again, I can't profess to be an expert anymore on baseball because I just can't stay awake for games anymore. Like 12 o'clock, I get to midnight now and I'm tired. The days of me staying up till 3, 4 a.m. watching games like long gone. I'm
You
like,
fell asleep during some of our games this season,
yeah,
and
yeah.
they're not at 12 o'clock at night.
No, I've nodded off to I mean, again, that speaks volumes to how engaged I am in it.
The
But
12:30 kickoffs, you've nodded off in a couple of them, and that's when you're
yeah.
sitting on the cop.
Do you know what? I have recently, if I'm in a stand that's got safe standing at half time, I do sit down and like put my arms on the safe standing bar in front of me and put my head down. And there have been times when half time has gone by in a blink of an eye because I must have started to nod off uh, in games. I did it at the last home game. I started to nod. I nodded off at half time. I put my head down. And the second, because I could just vaguely hear in the background Roman Reigns' theme, and I was like, "Is that Roman Reigns' theme?" And it's like, "No, you're dreaming." I was like, "All right, yeah, fair." And then like Dan put like a Roman Reigns' theme's playing. I'm like, "Oh, it was a thing that happened." Okay, but I had my head down like napping. So yeah, I can't profess to know as much about the Red Sox as I used to, but ultimately, I think schism between head coach and GM was what it was,
Yeah.
and how the team was composed. Like the Red Sox have always been sabermetrics heavy. Sabermetrics, for those who don't know, is basically stats. It's the forerunner for everything you see in football now. Moneyball is the phrase everybody knows, and it is just basically analyzing stats and a whole slew. Again, this will sound familiar to people. A whole slew of stats invented over the course of years to sort of measure players. It's easier in baseball because of the nature of baseball, but like, wins above replacement. So how good a player is against the person that would be replacing them if they were in the team, stuff like that. BAPIP, batting average on balls in play. So you take out all the foul balls and all that kind of stuff. All these sort of measurements of what the Red Sox they wanted to hire Billy Beane years ago, and it's what they sort of built their team on. So it's not a massive surprise they still build it on. But I think, again, Red Sox fans rightly feel like, well, they're one of the top three. They're definitely one of the top five. They're probably one of the top three prestige franchises in Major League Baseball. Like sadly, the Yankees they're a team of worldwide renown. You just have to see the baseball caps everywhere to know that. And then the Dodgers, and then the Red Sox, I would say. They're the top three teams in baseball. So they've got a prestige team, but they don't always spend like a prestige team. And they got burnt over the years with like handing out bad contracts to the wrong players, which you will know is familiar to you in recent years. But once that happened, they sort of throttled back and seemed to really limit spending. They do occasionally push the boat up, but not often anymore. They never seem to go into free agency looking to get big splashy signings anymore.
This all sounds very Liverpool-like as well, though.
Yeah.
Maybe they should hire
It
Billy Beane to run Liverpool. Although at this point, I'd take fucking Butterbean.
well,
Although he's in the manager's chair at the moment, so
well, it should also be familiar to you that like it's hard in baseball because the Dodgers just outspend everybody. They've just got a case of the fuckums and they just spend, 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 and they dominate. And obviously the people involved in the Dodgers are also involved at Chelsea.
but they're not
So
dominating. They've spent,
no,
but not dominated.
but that's it, you see. So like what just because sport is sport, it doesn't mean what works in one works in the other.
Yeah,
And the Dodgers and Chelsea show that. And like Liverpool splashed out in the summer. We splashed out a lot of money. And the worry is that it will become Red Sox like. And they're like, well, we signed
yeah,
Daisuke Matsuzaka, whatever his name was, for hundreds of millions, and he was shite. We're not spending any more money on this, we're throttling back in it. And
now you've got
Sandoval as well.
Isak.
God, they spent so much on him as well, and like he was always he just did nothing. Yeah, well, again, but it just means like purse is closed. We're drawing the strings tighter because you've wasted the money.
Yeah,
You've wasted the Suarez money. So I don't know. Does it really pertain to what happens at Liverpool? Because there's no schism between GM and head coach at Liverpool as far as we know, right? It's
no.
quite harmonious. So if that's the case, I don't really see it applying to what happens here. is my thing. What should be the biggest case is the asset being devalued, and will it continue to be devalued? And are these people, is the head coach making the assets we've given him better? Because there is a way out of it for Edwards and Hughes, accepting that they stay. They probably won't, but let's just work on that hypothetical. There is a way out for them to make themselves look less cunty, which is to say, it's not working out with him. He's devaluing the assets we've bought.
We've signed good players. It's not our fault.
We've signed the quality. We've given him the tools. And instead of using the nice, Milwaukee DeWalt power tools, he's like, the ape at the start of 2001, like hammering rocks with a bone or whatever. It's not working. Yeah.
In that analogy, the bone would be Gakpo. I keep digging out Gakpo, and it's like,
I know
there's plenty of others.
It's because he's sort of Slot in your eyes. That's what it is.
I know it is, but I feel the same about Gravenberch as well now, though.
It's because they're Dutch.
Yeah,
you like
Dutch players as well.
You like Austin Powers' dad. You like Nigel Powers. There's one thing I can't stand is intolerance, and the Dutch. That's you, Dad.
No, and he's another whipping boy because it's Gakpo all the time.
You don't need it with.
No, you've always got to have a go-to when you want to make a joke. You've got to have like someone.
Well, that's it. That's Edwards, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm feeling a bit like I'm piling on Gakpo too much. I may have to start throwing back.
Yeah, I mean, you are because he's scored. He's been all right recently.
He has been all right recently. All right, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
there's been a bit of an upturn from him, and he's having a go as well. Like he's even today, I thought he was having a go.
Yeah, no, you're not getting any help from me either. I'm not picking you a new whipping boy. No. It's not my style, that.
Probably Maka, but
I knew you were going to say that as well.
No,
like, all right, I'll pick McAllister. Fucking hell, all right. Yeah.
Just one last thing before we go. I think we'll probably talk about. I'm assuming you've seen the Mo interviews this week.
No.
You haven't watched them. The one with Stevie, and then there's one on Sky where they're just showing all clips of teammates and opponents. Just
no, I don't want to watch that stuff, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than a player of such renown, of such legend, going at the end of such a fuck ass season.
Mm.
It's really unbecoming.
Really good.
Yeah. It probably is. Maybe in a few months, maybe if there's a new manager in situ and there's a bit more hope and positivity, I'll watch it but right now it just feels like I don't need to see a player who I've adored, who's just been a great servant to the club, a legend. I don't need to see his eulogies at the moment.
Yeah, the Stevie one's a little bit different. There's some stuff that comes out of that where you're like, oh, okay. Like he said, for example, when he was having at the height of his trouble with probably after the post Leeds interview, he invited Stevie around to his house, cooked him a meal, and it just seems like Stevie talked him off the ledge because he was saying, go out on your terms, don't sneak out the back door, which is what we were saying on the pod. It's like, you shouldn't be going out through
so he had the Suarez conversation with him.
It seems like, he said to him, go out on your own terms, don't be sneaking out the back door in January or anything like that. You need the full send off and that from the crowd. And Mo more or less said that Stevie had talked him into that. He'd advised him not to do that, and that's what he's done. But there's one bit where I was I had to rewind it. I'm like, wait, did he just say that? It was the Mo's doing as usual, where he's so competitive, isn't he? So, and Stevie says oh, you just recently equalled my Derby goals record, and Mo's like, yeah, but I've got more assists. And Stevie's like, yeah, but I played right back for a couple of years. And Mo goes, yeah, but I've played right back this season as well. And I was like, wait, did he just say that? And he rewound it. I'm like, he did. He's just said he's been playing right back. But he's been so professional in all the interviews he's done. And in one of them, he's like, stuff's gone on, but I'm over it. I'm not going to talk about any of that, things that happened. And you can tell he's definitely harbouring some grudges about different stuff that's being said or done or whatever, but he's not talking about any of them. But when he threw that little comment in, saying I've basically been playing right back this season, I think that, that tells you a lot.
Bit tongue in cheek though as well.
Yeah,
right?
but he obviously knows, like, tactically the way things have gone. He doesn't feel like that's like suited him. I mean,
It hasn't.
no, it hasn't. But he also kind of said, like, he knows he's not delivering what he was delivering before, and now's the time to go and all that. So, like, there was a lot of self-awareness there, but you can see he's also, like, not happy about, like, the tactics, and a lot of veiled comments about, not so veiled actually, when he's saying about, like, he's really proud of not just, like, the numbers that he's put up, but he said, like, the thing he's most proud of is the culture, like, that he's helped create with being the first in the gym before training, going to the gym after training, and he said, like, nobody else was doing that, and now lots of players are doing it because he's done it. So,
Yeah.
and he said, I hope that continues after I've gone, and he said, I've said to Dom, and he said, and I spoke to one of the coaching staff. He didn't say, like, I spoke to the manager or anything like that. He said, like, one of the backroom staff, so I'm assuming maybe one of the physios, sports science people. And he said, like, it's important that doesn't stop because he's gone. Like, the culture of, like, players, like, really looking after themselves, and because he's like the benchmark that players are looking at and going, okay, he's doing that, we need to do that. And you're losing that, as well as losing, like, what a great player he's been.
A year ahead of time, by the way.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't the plan, was it? It was supposed to be, like, another year of it, but not just that, but Robbo's going as well. It's another culture setter. We don't know about Alisson. There's still talk about Juventus.
Oh, don't
basically
even
only
talk about
leaves it only leaves Virgil, doesn't he? So that's a big
Terrible.
problem. Is, like, because Curtis is old guard, even though he's only a young lad. He's been around for that long, but there's a lot of talk that he might go as well.
I think it's a real red flag that Mo signed a 3-year deal and he's leaving.
It was 2, wasn't
with the
it?
club's blessing. Yeah, I thought it was 3.
No, it was 2. He signed it last summer
2.
for 2 years.
Okay, so, but he's leaving with a year left on it. That's like a red flag to me. And, like, if he's resentful to, like, the manager for the way it's gone this season, like, he didn't think it was going to be his final season, and he didn't envision it ending up like this. I can see why he'd be resentful of the guy in charge, because ultimately, like, it's not been harmonious, it's not been good, and look how he's leaving.
Yeah. No, I've got a theory. He obviously is not happy with Slot and stuff. There's issues there. I don't necessarily think that's who he was referring to when he made that comment. There's a person at the club that doesn't want me here or wants to get rid of me or something. I don't necessarily think that was Slot. I think, looking at it now, I'm thinking it's Edwards. Or Hughes, whichever one you think's running the show. They wanted the contract off the books rather than Slot wanting them out. I don't, because Slot has basically picked him more or less all season, other than that one little.
I do feel like he made
where he didn't.
That Leeds game blow up though. I do feel like in the run up to that, like, Slot was doing an FU to him.
I don't necessarily think he's the person who he was saying doesn't want me at the club though.
No,
I
that's
don't
fair.
think that Slot's even got that kind of power anyway.
Well,
but
no.
it's by the by. But, like, I thought it was quite funny when they were showing the clips of, like, different players, and even, like, Declan Rice was on, Guardiola, Haaland. So it wasn't just, like, former players like Lovren and people like that. They're showing all these clips, and Mo's, like, just sitting there, big smile on his face, and, like, making little comments about different people, what they're saying. When Slot's one came on, Sky just showed the back of his head.
So you reckon it was even him?
I don't know what I don't know what his reaction was when Slot came on the screen, because we didn't see it, because I was watching on YouTube and it cut to adverts and then when I put the adverts back on, it's like it's the back of Mo's head, and we didn't really see. And then, but the one that jumped out was when Costas came on the screen. His face just lit up. He was just absolutely beaming, and he made some little comments about him and Milos next season. Obviously, like, the Kirk is his mate as well through Dom and that, like, he gets on well with him. So I think he was more or less confirmed there that Costas is going to be back next season as Robbo's replacement.
Yeah.
Which has been speculated, but Mo saying that, just he's obviously dead tight with Costas. He's probably his best mate there. So yeah, I think Costas will be coming back.
Yeah. Only a few games left, not long.
Yeah, 3. Next up is...
Chelsea, 12:30, Saturday.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, you've got to win that because Chelsea are a fucking shit show. I don't actually know what Chelsea are now that Rossini is gone. We don't know. It's one of the backroom staff's taken over.
Yeah.
Maybe they get a bit of an upturn. Who knows? So that might not be like the... I had that down as a guaranteed 3 points. Might not be the guaranteed 3 points I thought it was. Not that it matters a great deal anymore, unless Bournemouth got
They won today.
6 points behind us with 3 games left. Yeah.
And 9 worst goal difference.
Yeah, that's... I think we're safe in the top 5. I can't see anyone, even if we lost all 3
Well, they're going to
games,
catch Villa before they catch us, aren't they?
Well, not
Villa
necessarily,
behind us.
because we play Villa. So if Villa beat us...
That's a loss, by the way. That's 12:30 on a Sunday.
Depends on their European commitments, though, because like today they rested a load of players, didn't they? After playing in...
Yeah, but if they, I don't know when the Europa League final is. It's usually actually still in the middle of the season.
They might get
isn't it?
knocked out. They're getting beat 1-0 from the first leg.
Yeah, they might. They've got who do they have next week? They're away at Burnley. So you'd think they'd win that, and then Bournemouth are away at Fulham. Could go either way there. Good on Bournemouth, by the way.
Yeah.
Good on Bournemouth.
Considering all the players they lost last summer.
Yeah.
No,
No,
good
fair
for
play
them.
to them.
And they're the best team to watch in the league. Like
Yeah, they are the good.
If I have to watch another game, just a random game, that's the team who I'm looking at and going, yeah, I like watching them play. I'd stick them on. They're always entertaining.
Concerned where Areola goes in the summer, really.
Yeah. Don't know where he's going to end up, but I've said before about him, I feel like he's boom or bust. He could be the next big thing, or he might not be. I don't know.
Yeah,
Could go either
it's
way.
not about picking like a big job for him, is it? He's got to pick the right job as well.
Yeah.
Bigger team than Bournemouth, but like, don't just go into any shit show.
Don't go to Chelsea.
I'll see. Listen to Elvis Costello. Don't go to Chelsea.
Yeah. Anything else that'll be done? I suppose we should do predictions for the Chelsea game.
I think we'll probably squeak a win.
Yeah.
Just because it's 12:30 on a Saturday, I don't think they'll be that interested.
Yeah.
Don't think we'll lose. It'll be draw or win, but I'd say squeak a win.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think we'll get like a scabby win by... I don't know, we might even win like 3-1 or something. Like
We're not scoring 3 goals.
We did against Palace, didn't we?
I think Palace had other things on their mind.
I suppose it depends. If Isak's fit, I think Isak might play and score. If he's not, then yeah, it'll be close one, like 2-1 or something.
1-0 Dom.
Yeah, conceivable. Wouldn't be surprised with that. Yeah, I think we'll win anyway. It won't be pretty, but we'll win.
Yeah.
I don't know when Dan and John are doing their time team one. I know like they have got it in the works planned, so maybe it'll be this week, maybe it'll be the week after, or they might leave it until the season's finished. I don't know, but we'll either be back with the time team one or we'll be back after Chelsea. So it's an early kick-off on the Saturday, so yeah, we'll do it after the game some point on Saturday. Yeah, one last thing before we go. Chris isn't hosting tonight because he's running a marathon in Canada, so big shout out to Chris for that, rather him than me.
Yeah, I mean, he's been training for months as well. Like, he's really been putting in the miles and like all the training and stuff, and trying to get the diet right. I think he even cut out the ale, didn't he? He's proper on it. So
he missed the United game because he.
What would you rather do? Run a marathon or watch that game?
I'd rather watch the game because the game didn't kill me. A marathon would kill me.
Yeah.
If I could run, then I would happily go with the marathon rather than watching that game. But yeah, Chris is. I don't think he'll be watching that one. Like, he'll see the score and then he doesn't need to watch it. So.
Well, hopefully he's put in a shit hot time, so he'll be elated. So not even losing.
Yeah.
At Old Trafford will bother him.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. So well done, Chris, anyway.
Yeah, well done, mate.
You'll have finished by the time this will be be done.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's in trouble if he hasn't. Yeah, yeah. No, I reckon he'll put in a pretty decent time. I reckon he'll be pleased with his time as well.
Yeah, no, so do
Yeah,
I.
yeah.
So do I. Okay, I think that does us. So, yeah, until next time, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you soon.